Jabba Tears podcast. Jabba Tears. We got focus.
Check out from HR. You know,
remix coming soon.
You know, shout out to the HR Knights. You know, the So Wilkins crew. You know,
but shouldn't it be the HR staff?
Recruit.
Ooh, that starts again. Shout out to HR staff. You know, HR fans.
That
you know,
sounds
shout out to the
wild.
So Wilkes Knights. His fans, you know, shout out to the Black Pack, my fans, and together.
I like Black
we
Pack.
form Black Strong.
Damn, I like Black Pack. That's
it.
actually
That's
really...
it, man. You know, because yesterday, you know, thanks to the once again the almighty adrenaline shot. If you want,
I thought he was gonna say Bobby
string. This is the closest thing to have the Yaya string. Shout out to Yaya, Job Tits. I'm at 10 and Black. They're killing on the TikTok game. But if you want energy, able to think clear, think of these ill nicknames. Adrenaline shot.
Yeah, I swear, Aki.
Holla at us, B.
Holla
at us, B.
holla,
It's not only just for fitness niggas. It's for the average Joes like me that's podcasting out there. Because he's the fitness nigga. I'm average Joe, man.
I don't think that works on a promo if you say nigga.
Yeah, I was about to say, you had me.
You listen.
You had me at the top.
Man.
And then
listen, man. They need an urban department, B. Just how
Yeah,
McDonald's be covered. Yo, McDonald's was not slick. You know why they called that the Travis Scott meal? You know why they did that? Because they was getting sued for basically a lawsuit for being racist.
Well, shout out to speaking of lawsuits and things like that, I wanted to send a special shout out to 20 by 20 podcast. They are a part of the Jabba Tears family. So don't worry. Just know that all eyes are on everybody. Like when you think people aren't watching you, people are watching you. But
WWE sent a cease and desist to them to that
tough cease and desist.
Dang.
So yeah, but okay.
Which is wild.
So people who don't know, 20 by 20 podcast is an amazing podcast.
Amazing.
Check them out.
Phenomenal. Shout out to Nate and the boys.
They was on the show a couple of episodes back.
So they had some t-shirts out. Awesome t-shirts. I don't know.
Actually, I have one. I have it. I have one. Hold on. I don't know why I didn't. My bad. Sorry. I actually did.
Dang, you might be getting mad niggas dick hard right now.
No, I'm not. Okay, now you did. Now you wildin'. Okay. Sorry. I forgot I did wear it in honor of them today. I just had to put something over it.
Yeah, so they had t-shirts that had WWE characters, but they did it in their own way. Mm-hmm. Storyline. It's storylinellc.com. I think that's what the website was called. So, yeah. And the designer these are awesome designers. Hold on, let me pull them up real quick. The designer is Dream Match Wrestling. That was the designer for the t-shirts. And WWE hit them with a cease and desist, and so did AEW. But the thing is, my brothers were working.
Working.
And they were out here promoting. So obviously when you're doing a lot and it's getting attention, Big Brother's gonna come in and try to take it away.
That's how you know you're winning out here. So I want to send a special shout out to 20 by 20 podcast.
Because they're doing it out here, man.
Because
they're working on the weekend like usual.
Mm-hmm. This is what we're doing today?
Of course, man.
Okay.
You know,
another thing.
You call them the weekend. You see what I did there?
Yes.
Early in the game.
Speaking of, look at what you did just now. Special shout outs to Drew versus the World. We did an amazing,
shout out to my son Drew
podcast with an old friend of mine. Actually, it was weird because it's funny when I kept saying Drew, I was like, I don't know who that is. But then when he spoke, I said, oh, that's Andrew. But shout out to Drew versus the World. Make sure to follow on Instagram and Twitter. And hopefully that episode will drop very, very soon. It is Andrew versus the World featuring the Jabba Tears podcast. So we were blessed.
Cheap plug alerts. You know, Drew versus the World. That's gonna call my
Oh my God!
But we talk about
I don't know why I got
different people. So,
I got so excited.
It's like the band. It's like Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
The band was so dope.
Do I set another branch of the Jabba Tears? Jabba Tears band? No.
The band? No. We stick to regions. It's fine. You were talking about that the other day, and I got super excited.
Drew versus the World. Cheap plug alert. He will be on the Mrblacc show. You know.
Oh, good.
I'll get more in depth of my fellow cancer brothers. Shout out to all the cancer people killing the game. Shout out to my bro Montezi and his podcast Swerve City on the WWE Network.
If you have not already heard,
killing the game out here, B. Us cancers,
this week, when this drops, it'll be
nothing can stop us but chemo. You see what I did there? Bars! Because real life cancer gets stopped by chemo.
No, I get it. I got it.
Yeah,
I
man.
got it. That was clever, you. No, but shout out to the Swerve City podcast. They announced about a week or a week and a half ago that they will now be on the WWE Network, which is really, really big. So shout outs to Montezzi and Swerve. I think their first guest is Drew McIntyre. But the episode will drop on the WWE Network this week. And also shout outs to, I didn't even know Lenny and Garcia's podcast is actually going to be on the network too.
Yeah.
So it looks like WWE is starting to shift gears and putting podcasts on the network. So
why we not on the network? I mean, why we not on?
Hank, like, come
why
on.
we not live right now?
Come on, Vince.
We're not live right now.
Oh, we're not?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, we're still live, like, recording.
Yeah, we're recording live.
I was like, what do you mean? But yes, once again, shout out to Montezzi, the theme song king himself.
The theme song king.
The one that created
Classics.
our podcast theme song along with your sports podcast theme song. But he's working on a remix for us. So 2021, we're working on some things. So that's one of them.
I should have, right?
What, for the Mrblacc? Yeah, you probably should have. It's okay. We'll find somebody. We'll find somebody else. It's okay. This weekend, I mean, we're gonna, jump around here and there, but this weekend, we're back at Legends for Hell in a Cell. It is a costume party. So, people keep hitting me up, like, what costume are you wearing? I'm like,
none of your business.
I don't. My chalkline jacket. I was like, I work Sunday, so I'm like, Halloween's not my thing, so it's fine. But yes, this Sunday we'll be at Legends for Hell in a Cell, back in effect. But it is a costume party, so come out if you want to come in a costume.
Come out
by all means. If you want to come as you are, like church, by all means, whatever works for you. But we do want to appreciate everyone that came out last month for Clash of Champions.
Thank you.
And then that's planning to come this Sunday. We appreciate it. But once again, still living in a whole ass pandemic.
Pandemic, man. On some real talk. Like, I was talking to somebody. I was interviewing. This episode surely will be coming out. I have the great Chisel Adonis, Dark Skin Excellence.
Yo, he's if you have not, please follow Chisel Adonis on Instagram. By far, one of the funniest people I feel like it is around right now. Like,
listen,
mad funny.
2021, we will have the Jabba Tears brunch.
Oh, that brunch is still happening.
It's gonna be big.
It's a lot of things that we're gonna bring back.
We're gonna be big. Oh, don't forget the Jabba Tears Lounge.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
New, I guess, series alert.
New series alert.
It's a limited series that
limited
we're
edition.
doing.
Like the Pokemon, like the Charizard. You see what I did there?
Or new edition.
Oh my God, how I missed that! Dang!
New edition.
Damn.
I got you.
You got me there.
I did. But yes, new limited series that we are presenting, featuring us at the Jabba Tears podcast, where we are going to take over Tuesday nights from now until about, I would say about right before Christmas. We want to be able to give you guys some more content, but we want to give some exclusivity to, those that we want to spotlight. So we're going to be doing interviews for the next few Tuesdays on StreamYard
and games
and on Twitch and things like that. And our first guest is no other than Renee Michelle.
Her pretty self, beautiful.
Who is
beautiful.
an independent wrestler. Also the wife of
favorite girl.
I always want to call him Rockstar Spud because I feel like he's forever that. But wife to Drake Maverick.
Oh, that's his wifey?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that whole I guess not storyline, but that whole instance where he was getting married, that was real. That is his actual real wife.
I didn't. No. I listen, I have weed brain, Shout out to the Black Pack. Y'all know about the weed, our weed memory. Shout out to all of y'all.
The weed pack? That's hilarious. But yes, our first guest is no other than Renee Michelle. So this coming Tuesday, live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because sometimes we got some people in different time zones, where we will be presenting the first episode of the JTP Lounge.
Oh, we got to dress up, right?
Which is, I really thought about that. I almost hit up you and was like, should we dress up?
I think we should, and we should have cognac.
Yeah, I feel like I should have a glass.
Oh,
okay, we're gonna switch it up. It's gonna be nice and sexy.
Oh,
That's what we're gonna do on Tuesday nights. So once again, limited
gonna sex it
series
up.
presented by the Jabba podcast called the JTP Lounge. And then once again, look out for this Tuesday with our first guest, Renee Michelle, who is going to be in the Diamond Cup? The Diamond Cup GCW show in Tampa, Florida, in about a few weeks, where we are actually going to be one of the sponsors for the show. So we're getting back into the groove of things. I feel really inspired after now having that conversation and kind of getting on board with them at GCW. So shout out to GCW. Make sure to follow them on all social media platforms. They are crowning their women's champion, and they're doing a tournament, which includes Renee Michelle, which includes Sol Guerrero, which is the daughter of late Eddie Guerrero, among other women. So,
I forgot that she's back in wrestling.
Yeah. This is actually her first match back into wrestling. So, once again, anyone in the Tampa area, come out and support. We are working out some things where we actually, as a collective, will go down to Tampa and represent the Jabba podcast. So, looking forward to doing that.
Yes, Mr. Black is going out to stay. You know, Mr.
Finally.
Black. You know, Mr. Black.
Jesus, but it'll be like a one night only thing.
One night.
Because listen, Zaddy Cuomo said anything over 24 hours, you got to quarantine.
And
so we can't do that.
You know, like we got some stuff for Christmas for y'all.
Yeah, we're working on some new merch, some new gear, some holiday stuff. So we got some things going on for the next few months.
Shout out to my son, my favorite YouTube couple, Jay and Stable, for giving us the idea. Give me the idea for launching our Christmas line. It's coming, y'all. It'll be sweeter than sweet tea.
Sweeter than sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Like I'm like, yo, I'm excited. You know, I'm excited for the up and coming. You know, the final quarter for the Jabba tiers. You know, we ending season 8 very strong.
Yeah,
you know,
we gotta be able through it all, be able to end, you know, on a high note.
Through the wire.
I got that one. But other than that, before we get into some topics of wrestling and This Week in Wrestling, what is one thing this week you've been watching, you've been doing? What's going on?
Come on, you already know what I've been watching.
What you been watching?
Lovecraft. Oh, man.
You know, I'm going to give it another try. I tried one episode.
Nah.
And I couldn't.
It's like Watchmen. Like, you cannot stop at one episode because it won't make no sense.
Okay, but it was just, for me, it just was a little slow.
No, it is. But like, it's just like Watchmen, the whole format. Yo, that ending oh man, you know, shout out to Black Excellence. You know, once again, we are dominating in 2020. You know, just like I predicted beginning of the year, you know, everybody gonna eat this year. And once again, my vision have once again have come past. You know, you just call me Black Donis at this point because I will predict the future like Raven. Oh my gosh.
You know what I watched last night?
Half and Half?
No. I've been on my 101 kick. I haven't even touched Half and Half yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit. No, when you just said, it reminded when you said Raven. Yeah. I was watching on November to Remember. It was 1990. Was it 99? No, 97. November to Remember, 1997.
Shout out to ECW for these tough pay-per-view names.
Yeah, it's clever.
Yeah.
But it just, Joey Styles' intro was just, he was at a 10. Even before you understood the levels, he was at a level 10.
Yeah, like,
so it was
Joey
wild.
Styles to me, like, he's up there with Moreau, you know, because I just feel like I draw inspiration from both of them because to me, they're the 100% themselves. You know, when you talk to them, you see interviews with them, they just love the business. They just love the art of commentary and basically setting the picture. Like I always say, if I could turn over and close my eyes and still imagine what's going on just off of commentary, you did an excellent job. And this is why Joey Styles and Moreau will always be in my top 5 of greatest commentaries in the game.
Gotcha. All right, so you're on you said Love.
I already finished it.
Love. Oh, you finished?
Yeah, Sunday was last episode.
Oh, okay.
I've been watching a lot of old China stuff too.
Okay.
Like I really started thinking that China was ahead of her time. Way too much.
Absolutely.
Way ahead of her time. And when you start realizing that a lot of how men think then is still the same exact way, very sexist. Like China, like if she really had more time in the ring, it got better and better because her and Jericho match was pretty good, thanks to Jericho, but she still did her part. But I just feel that if we didn't live in such a sexist world and closed-minded world when it comes to wrestling, there would have been more prototypes for China. Not just China, just because I haven't seen a woman that were able to handle with the guys and handle with the women the way that China was doing back in the day. And I'm yet to see. Matter of fact, I won't say that. Correction. I'm yet to see a wrestling company let a woman go the way they like China go.
I think Impact did it with Tessa.
Yeah, I was gonna say Impact was probably the closest.
Yes. You know what?
And I think you mean main level where it's like WWE.
Yeah, I mean AEW, but like I feel like Tessa is started, but we never got. It's still like an unfinished product. You're right. Tessa did get the run, but due to COVID, her situation, whatever, Tessa.
I think
short.
We got it close. We got a taste. From what I hear, supposedly they were gonna run with the Randy versus Nia.
Yo, that would have been money.
That actually would have been dope.
And that would elevate it. Like honestly, if they ran with that,
And Randall would have
that would have elevated
like
Nia Jax's ring skills tremendously.
Like they were on the verge of doing it,
Mm-hmm.
from what I hear, but it was stopped short. And you gotta understand, they're a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
And I've always been, you guys know I'm yes and no with intergender matches.
Yeah.
But done right.
It's so okay. This is my opinion. I don't like seeing a woman get hit.
Yeah.
Because of past trauma.
Yeah.
So that's one. That's my personal belief.
Okay.
But I understand. What you said is something that was correct, which is, if it's done right.
Right.
Like somebody like Nia versus Randy, because of Nia's size.
Yeah.
You can kind of believe in it.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
It doesn't look false.
Yeah.
It looks like it could actually go down.
It actually gonna happen. Like even if.
Because even in the Rumble when they had kind of crossed
Yo,
paths,
I like that.
I was like, oh,
yeah, I like
shit.
it. And honestly,
did y'all like Tessa versus Sammy? Did you believe
So
in
the
it?
match I didn't like per se. The build up,
loved it.
I loved it.
Loved it.
The actual match was so lackluster.
Yeah, it was alright.
And it gave me, and it reminded me back to, it has to make sense. And it reminded me also how lackluster her and Brian Cage was too. Like I was just like,
But okay, all right. I know we gotta go on top. We can start. Let's talk about wrestling, right? We might as well go ahead. Forget about my week. Unless you got something to say.
No,
you said what you watched. No, I'm good. But I want to get into that because this goes back to what we talked about when it comes to Brian Cage. How I love Brian Cage because he's a throwback to like the Steiners, the Lugers, all those overly top brolic mofos that were in wrestling, right?
yeah.
So, Brian Cage versus Tessa Blanchard.
Oh boy.
How do you put that over?
I mean,
No. But okay. Let's say, for instance, I fought Ronda Rousey,
okay.
right?
Okay.
Ronda Rousey would whoop my ass.
Yeah.
Like, on some real, let's just keep it a whole buck.
Armbar.
Like,
It's a wrap for
she would whoop your ass. She
Yeah.
would whoop she would both, probably both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not even holding you on that.
2-on-1.
2-on-1.
Yeah. I know.
Let's talk about Cyborg. I love this chick. She's from UFC.
Oh yeah, Cyborg. She was the next coming up after Ronda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was there. It was cool.
Whoop anybody from UFC,
Whoop it.
9 out of 10 probably whoop my ass.
Yeah, unless I cheat.
The only time I probably might win, because anybody high up in that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu level, you're whooping my ass.
Yeah.
And if you a chick that can box, you're whooping my ass.
Yeah, you got hands. Yeah.
You got hands. So the reason why, and this goes back to what Janelle's saying, like, you didn't believe that shit.
Absolutely not.
Like, they didn't make the match in a way where she's using her speed or like her intelligence to get over on the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then we spoke about it a couple weeks ago. Shit got to be convincing.
Okay.
See, but the thing with the whole like even with Sammy and Tessa, like if I had to choose which one was better, I would honestly say Sammy and Tessa.
Of course,
but why?
In terms of the look of it, in terms of how their wrestling styles are, they're not the same, but they're very similar compared to the wrestling style of Tessa and the wrestling style of Brian Cage are very two different things. And it's not to say that two different wrestling styles can't go, but it has to make sense. And it has to also translate. And we talked about that off camera, where things that don't always necessarily translate on TV, is good. So it was one of those things where look wise, Sammy and Tessa made sense. It looked like it made sense. It was the way that the build up, the storylines that they had, it all made sense.
I'm gonna say this. I agree with both of y'all, but also it also goes down to the performer, because for example, you have a big dude like Undertaker, but yet his style translates well to a smaller guy, to a big guy, medium-sized guy. It translates well to a lot of different styles. Brian Cage's style does not translate well with everybody. Like he has a very I feel like he's too he needs to loosen up. Like I feel like he needs somebody to crack his bone or something. It doesn't translate well. Like he's
old nigga shit.
I don't know.
But how but low key he has his moments where he looks like he moves low key like a cruiserweight, but then he moves.
It doesn't flow properly.
And then it's like when you snip like a movie, like a cut of a film. So let's say 10 seconds of it, it looks like he's moving fluid. It's fine, and then the next 20 seconds, he looks like
that's
he's
why I
stiff
feel
and
that
slow, and
it
it's
goes
just
down
like
to performer.
whoa.
Like you have a performer where I call these the Mario type of styles. You have a style where it could fit well with everybody. The HBK type of style, the Miz type of style, AJ type of style, where these are guys that no matter who they face, it translates well. Even Randy Orton style translates well with many different opponents. It falls down to the opponent.
Yeah, I mean,
like Tessa, like for example, we praise this man all the time. Darius Carter. Darius Carter is known for fighting women, but his style translates well to many forms of different women. And the way that he, like my brother said, is how you construct the match.
Yeah.
So
and,
the two people are constructing a match, it's all about who's better at constructing a certain type of match. So if you are Darius and Carter, if a Darius versus Tessa will most likely be a better match. Even someone similar to a Brian Cage type of size, shout out to Anthony Bowen, the 5'2" player, the champion of Battle Club, that match was tremendous because his style translates well to Tessa's style.
Right.
And Anthony Bowen is the type of dude where you can put him in any situation, his style translates well. And I talked to him. I said, yo, you looking good, brother man. He said, yo, I had to slim down because it's a different generation of wrestlers. If Brian Cage slimmed down a little bit more leaner, his style will look better for him.
But I don't think so. Okay, this is actually a great conversation, actually, because I don't think he needs to slim down, and this is why I say that, because there aren't too many big men left in the industry.
So what do you think that Brian Cage needs to do?
Brian Cage needs to start wrestling like Brock Lesnar does. Because
but then on the flip side, he needs to be booked. Like, if you're going to be presented as this, I'm like monster, and that's my issue with Braun. If you're going to be presented and delivered like I'm this big guy, I'm this powerhouse, but then you don't do powerhouse shit and you don't win like a powerhouse, how the fuck am I supposed to believe that?
And and it's the booking is correct. You are right about that. But the way he wrestles, he tries to wrestle like a luchador. And it's fine to bring it out once in a while. But bro, you are bigger than 90% of your locker room. Like on some real shit. You are bigger than 90% of your locker room. Act like it.
One person who's similar to his size, and I feel like he gets it, Warlord.
Warlord gets
it. Him versus Jungle Boy yesterday?
Yo, so but even before that, even the match that he had,
Cody.
Not even with Cody, what he had, I think it was on Dark, and it was with Grim. Shout out to Grim. Even though he bodied him in that match, but that's the point. Like, you're supposed to be this monstrous, no one, you're this hard hitting guy.
But Warlord also does bust out some cruiserweight moves.
But also, you know where Warlord was from before?
Where?
Wasn't he in NXT development?
I didn't know that.
I'm almost 100%.
He said 99.9%.
I'm only 90% sure. If he wasn't, please somebody, tell me I'm wrong. We don't please correct us. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure he was in that. Listen, the problem is.
So was Brian Cage though.
No, he wasn't. He was supposed to.
No. I'm sorry. He was in Gut Check and Impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Listen. As much we talked about the other week, right? Mm-hmm. How WWE has a certain style. We talked about it with Cal from Black Wrestling. Shout out to Black Wrestling. Shout out to Cal. But we talked about it. Where we said that WWE has a certain style. Because sometimes it just makes sense with certain things. Because when you're in that independent scene, you're trying to get your shit in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're trying to get your shit in. And sometimes there was a meme going around of like some guy in the first match is a shooting star press, a bunch of stuff, a bunch of other shit, and just gets all his stuff in and then ruins the main event. A guy like Brian Cage is the main event guy. He's trying to impress the smarks, which is us sometimes. And that's the problem. Now, to bring it back, him and Tessa didn't make sense because it made it seem like they were on the same level in physicality.
Like I didn't see no bear hug. Like the most basic thing he could have done was
she hurricaned him from the top rope.
Wait.
So
That's
confused.
fine. Wait, that's fine. But
that wasn't. I was just like,
no,
wait,
that's fine
what?
because that's New Age is telling stories. I'm never getting mad at, but it's saying that he should have done the simple basics: bear hug, Tessa fight. Oh, get a fight. That would have been Greg's spot.
Because you know what? At the end of the day, I would have felt more bad for Tessa if she's getting her ass whooped.
And she had a whole spot. She came back from it. Yeah.
And that was how the match was told with her and Sammy.
Because where was Sammy from before? NXT.
NXT.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of in-ring psychology that you get from WWE. WWE NXT developmental is college for a lot of wrestlers.
I agree.
And even if you don't, let's say, in a sense, make it to like getting on TV on NXT, just the mere fact of training it, or even doing a tryout or something, you're learning.
Everybody that I've learned,
you're learning.
that I know personally or have talked to that have done a tryout, they get feedback. They get told to do certain things. Hey, you did that move from the top rope. I need you to hold your back after you do it.
And it even goes to it. I'll even bring it back a little more. The series about when Undertaker, and that it was that one episode where he went to NXT. He went down.
He sat down
NXT,
with the big boy.
and he literally sat down on the table with Keith Lee, with Babatunde, with like all the big guys that were coming through NXT. And Undertaker literally, like, they watched the match, and Undertaker literally broke down the match for them. Shit like that, I feel like it's just more genuine than anything else because you're literally getting gems from a legend. So things like that, and I think, once again, people, we, as fans, we always quick to look at different, things differently, but you got to give WWE the props, when it's due, because they go through that process so that they become better at what they do.
Yeah.
Like even, because I sent you an article about even going back to Lillian Garcia about her podcast going on the network, and she said that the piece of advice that Vince gave her was the thing that made her start the podcast, because she was feeling like everything had to be perfect, everything had to be a certain way, and literally Vince told her, like, just be you, like, don't worry about it, don't overthink it. Just be you. Like, think about, what are you going to do after this, and stuff like that. Because when she was saying, when they had that conversation, it was when she was, walking away to, take care of her dad that had passed and things like that. And he just was like, think about what's next, but have fun with it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like, those are the type of gems that, whether it's Vince or anybody in the wrestling business that gives you those type of life lessons. That's why when we do interviews, I always ask them, what's a piece of advice you want to give to somebody? Because those are the things that you need in order to kind of build that confidence and to have that understanding of the business side of things. And I think a lot of people sometimes kind of miss those points. But bringing up Tessa and all that was really, I was like, oh.
Shout out to Bruce who corrected us. Brian Cage was in FCW. Once again, shout out to Blockman. What he doing over there?
Where
down there, brother. Yeah, somewhere down there. He said it. Yeah, Bruce said
what
he
are
was
some
FCW.
of the comments? If you're looking, let's take a look and see.
And you're right. The one thing I realized, everybody who's successful in entertainment in general, they always say, be yourself.
Well, yeah, I think that's the main thing,
but
though.
thank you, Bruce, for...
Bruce said Brian Cage was in the fact in WWE development, but he was in FCW.
Okay. Yeah, I see it right now.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you too, is have fun. And I feel that's the one thing that I realized that a lot of fans don't understand about wrestling. Like, when you hear, because I watch a ton of interviews.
Hold on 1 second. I know you said something. Stan said something. I just want to let people know. They said, shout out to Stan from
Talk of
Champions.
Champion.
Stan said, if you, Brian Cage, Brian Cage, you got to protect yourself. Sammy basically a cruiserweight, so visually it's better. You get a big guy like Cage in there with Tessa, it buries him.
No, it doesn't.
In some ways,
No. It doesn't bury him, but it's all about how you develop a match.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of people saying
but
that.
But it buries him the way he did it.
Yes, the way he did it, yes. But then again, it does not bury him from just being in a match. Like Jeff Jarrett, one of his greatest matches where he put China over. He wasn't buried. It was one of the great matches.
It made sense though. Like,
exactly.
The thing about it, like, even when going with Brian Cage, and John Moxley, like, shit just has to make sense. Like, you can't just throw somebody into the pit and then think you're gonna get this beautiful glass out of it, and it doesn't happen.
Like, I like.
That's
okay,
annoying.
listen. I like Brian Cage. I like what he stands for. I like what he does. I like the fact he does the stuff way he does. But one thing I'm realizing that you could tell Brian Cage is still trying to find himself within wrestling.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. Give Brian Cage a couple more years. He will be the Brian Cage that he really know he could be in. And back to Fire Entertainment, I realized when you're not having fun, when you're not being yourself, like, you're not going to succeed. Every wrestler always talk about, when I hear all the time, what's your favorite match, a moment, WWE, whatever they say, it'd be the most absurd moment. Like, Mark Henry loved what he did with Mae Young. Some people hated it, but Mark Henry said, I had so much fun doing that. And guess what he said after that? I got so much knowledge from her. Like, one thing I realize about wrestling, and we have to realize as its fans, is, some of these segments that you may think is corny, it's not funny, blah, blah, blah. We'll address Jericho and MJF, but at the end of the day, it adds layers to these characters. Bobby Lashley was on the podcast with, what's that dude's name? Corey Graves, right? And he said, how do you feel about his wedding, your sisters? And he said, that was Vince's way of kind of making me less serious. And I laid it to my character. Because after that, Bobby Lashley grew tremendously. His mic skills got better.
Look at the hurt business.
Yes. That's why I tell people, like, sometimes.
Oh, shit. I was like, that's talking about Raw, because y'all think this retribution shit is popping. That shit is a dub to me. That shit is a dub.
But like, we'll get to that
later.
We'll get to that. Yeah, get to that. But overall, I realized that you have to go through the funny stuff to get the gems out of it to develop as an entertainer.
Yeah.
Because if you look at these rappers and whatever, you may see 50 Cent on, like, back in the day, he was on everything. Like, 50, what are you doing? He had video games. He did it his way. And that video game, 50 Cent, Bulletproof Blood in the Sand is one of the most underrated game I ever played, boy. 50, you get to play as 50 Cent. Shoot it up, niggas.
You get to play as 50?
Yes.
That's wild.
No, it was Bullet in the Sand, one of the best games I ever played.
Where did you play? Like, what system was this?
It was for 360. And I tell people, wrestlers are not different from regular entertainers. You gotta go through the silliness to do it. Look at Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart. Who would have thought?
Right, because that's an odd.
And guess what?
And
guess what? That show, I think that show went on for years. Made him so much money and expanded his brand.
It made me really sit and be like, Martha Stewart smokes. Like,
of course she does. Of course she does.
That
like,
threw
come
me
on.
all the way
she
off.
cook. She know about healing and stuff like that. Come on, B. She went to jail too.
Facts. For moving her money when they told her to, and she wasn't supposed to.
Come on, B. Come on.
But all right, let's move on. NWA has been flying a little under the radar, but they got a really big jump in, I think, some positivity where they crowned a new television champion. D'Angelo Pope is now your new NWA television champion, which is really dope. He I don't know if you guys saw the video that he posted. It's like a 3-minute video. I think after everything kind of calmed down and he got a moment to just kind of take it in. And, like, he just was, the emotion that he had, it just made me realize, like, we sometimes, just even in life, we forget to kind of just smell the roses a little bit and enjoy that moment. So, like, where we're all sitting here like, what? Like, how did this happen? He's literally like, I've been working for, like, this kind of moment. And it was like, whoa. So, what are your thoughts on the new NWA television champion? And kind of where do you see this going? Because like I said, NWA has been kind of flying under the radar. They haven't really been, doing TV tapings. like that because of COVID and stuff like that. And we'll get to COVID and wrestling because I feel like that's always talked about every week. But that's just the world we're living in right now. But what are your thoughts on the new television champion?
I love it. You know, D'Angelo Pope always been my favorite ever since like I got introduced to him as Elijah Burke. And
with
when,
the tracksuit.
Yo,
Yo, that tracksuit was elite.
Fun fact, he was Chris Benoit's last opponent.
Oh, before he died.
Oh, you know, because it was a match between him and Chris Benoit to qualify to face CM Punk at Vengeance. That's when CM Punk came out. Oh, man, one of my favorite moments from the era of WWE ECW era. But nevertheless, though, Elijah Burke was always a very overlooked talent in WWE and TNA/Impact. You know, he should have been world champion in Impact. I mean, TNA days a long time ago. He's everything that you want in a performer. And him being the TV champion, I know Elijah Burke going to put that title on his back. Hopefully, that could elevate him to the world champion because it'll give a different flavor to the lineage of the NWA. He will put his Lawries in it. You feel me? Different. I know his style is going to elevate that championship where it needs to be and more relevant. Don't be wrong. What's that dude's name? Nick
Aldis?
Nick Aldis, great champion, but I want my champion to be black and have a different flavor. So
It's not happening anytime soon.
yo, listen.
That's the wrong company, to be honest with you, to do it. But
well, you're right. But listen, something that 2020
count our
taught
blessing.
me, one thing that 2020 taught me is just like you never know.
you know what? That
You
is
never know.
true.
You never know because you know, my son Willie Mack held that title. You know, he didn't hold that title. He held the United. What title he held?
TV title.
The TV. He did. You know. So next seat is elevated to next level. I'm proud of the King. You know, that's one of my favorite wrestlers. You know, dark skin power unite. You feel me?
With the braids.
Oh man, yo, headlines on for his age.
Yeah.
The braids is not like here. It touches. Shout out to Carter Pope of We Didn't Wrestling. You know, that's his daddy. You know.
That's not his dad.
How you know?
How do you know? All right, then. So, Wilkins, your thoughts on the new television champion?
Congratulations to him. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I got no soul, so I want to see a motherfucker cry on camera.
It was hard. It was hard.
It was a hard cry and an ugly cry too.
Yeah. It was like you know when you get the nostril snot.
Yeah,
and you know when you heave like
Yes.
I was just like, oh God, like I didn't know it was that
You
serious.
like emotions. You like when no one cried.
So
You're
Yeah.
soulless.
I might
How could you
be
so
typical Sag.
heartless?
so because the thing is, I didn't
Know
want
what?
to.
Facts.
I didn't want to see that, and I was like, "Yo, I'm
course.
looking at my phone because you sent it to us."
Yeah.
And I was like, "So you gonna send us?"
Yeah, you hit me with the why'd you send us this?
Like, yeah, you see this man cry. But congratulations, I understood why he cried. I'm not that soulless. But yeah, it was awesome seeing him win. He cut a good promo after. He deserves it because he's been in the industry for mad long.
Yeah.
And which is why when we get to AEW, I understand Eddie's promos.
Yeah.
Understand Eddie's struggle. Eddie Kingston, I'm talking about, not Eddie Guerrero. He has struggles too, though. But
Yes.
Tons.
He overcame them.
it's
He rose up like a phoenix.
and this goes back to
of the
what I spoke
ashes.
about like on the other episode when I was talking about Cody. Like people don't like winners, a
No.
consistent winner.
LeBron, they hate him.
So Pope winning right now is beautiful
Yeah.
because he's from the bottom, he's from the
Yeah.
dirt
Yeah.
type of thing. So not calling him
Not
dirty,
to call him dirty or anything.
but
like
yeah,
that.
that's
Disclaimer.
Yeah, yeah. Because you know how people
'Cause you know
are.
niggas
Yeah,
will
yeah,
flip that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't hear nothing.
No.
And talk
Dirt. That's all they hear.
Dirt. Oh man. I
Selective
had a feeling
hearing.
like these guys are not black excellence.
Selective
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah, yeah.
So, but,
We have a whole
yeah.
podcast about us.
2 episodes.
Yeah. Niggas.
But yeah, so I appreciate it.
I love you guys. Just know that.
But I
wouldn't trade you for anything
appreciate
in the
seeing
world.
that. We all know why NWA did it. They need more eyes on the product right now.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit more over than most of their roster.
Yeah.
I think he's the only, like, to be honest, he's the only, like, recognized notable name, I think, low-key on that roster, because then that was the thing we spoke about before, too, is literally AEW just scooped up everybody that was either on the indies that was running hot or in Impact or ROH or NWA. Like, they ended up, like, I'm saying, like, for me, when NWA lost Ricky Starks, I said, they done fucked up. They done fucked up. And when he popped up on AEW, I was like,
It might just be a working
that was a
relationship.
good pickup. No, I don't think so.
I mean,
don't think
Thunder
so.
Rosa's over there with her title.
Yeah.
And I think, like I've said this numerous times, the only reason why that women's division is relevant is because of Thunder Rosa.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Britt Baker coming back.
Yeah.
Put on a pretty good match.
I still think that Swole should have won.
I think Swole should be in the title picture.
I
think she should be one of the faces of the division.
Yeah.
I mean, she is already because their division is like 2 people.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess we move on to what's next on the docket.
Yeah, you're right.
So once again, we're living in a whole ass pandemic, and COVID's been running wild. So apparently, there was an indie show, in Indiana, GCW's, Joey Janela, GCW's, had a show, and there were some cases of COVID that appeared.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to the table is, do you think that, because with independence, you can kind of get away with stuff. You don't have to do like the temperature checks and things like that. Like, what do you like? Do you think things like that should be implemented at a show? Because once again, you got all these, low key, everything. I feel like, but New York is running, so it's hard. And I feel like, do you think there should be some type of implement program, like for wrestlers, or like should everything be closed circuit, or like what are your thoughts? Should we, on the indie scene, should it be out in the open to public? Should it be for fans, or should they take the the Impact approach or the NWA approach where where they're not wrestling with people there, like they're wrestling in a studio?
Okay. This COVID thing is rough.
Tough.
And we all know why it's rough, but like I want to get into a little bit deeper of why it's rough because, listen, we don't know anything.
At all.
We really don't know the real reason for anything of a pandemic. Like, our government failed us. I'm going to say it. I know we're not a political podcast, but...
At all, but facts are facts.
Our government failed us just in general. Now, when it comes to wrestling, they should try to minimize it as much as possible. There should be temperature checks. I don't know if there was. I don't know.
Right, yeah, I don't
know
know
if there
in
was.
terms
I
of-
think I don't have enough information, and I don't want to make a blanket statement about the situation. But just in case, let's say there wasn't, they should have had it. Now, do I believe you should still put on shows? Yes. They should all be outside for the most part.
You can't do it in New York, eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's a dub here.
It's a dub.
Now, it should be outside. And then, let's say number 2, you want to put on a show inside. Capacity should be like 30%.
Yeah.
Everybody should have a mask on. I don't care. And there's a lot of these middle America places where people are like kind of like, it's my right to not have a mask on. Everybody should have a mask on. Number 2, I mean. Oh, it's number 3. I don't know what number I'm on. But no meet and greets.
Yeah.
No meet and greets. No locker rooms. Because it's close. Like, you know how people get dressed.
Yeah.
People get dressed like in a hallway half the time, or like, but spread it out. Spread it out. Just try to minimize it as possible because we don't know enough.
So I feel like if that's the case, these shows should be shorter then.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a great point.
Yeah,
great point.
Is and it's something that I even noticed in terms of the pay-per-view, like WWE shortened that shit real quick. That shit is 2 hours tops, and that's it. Like,
Shorten the
and that's
pay-per-view,
really
yeah,
what
yeah.
you
Shorten-
kind of get to the point. Even
Yeah.
with Takeover, literally was like 4 or 5 matches.
And
Boom.
any match, instead of having like a 10 match show, shorten it to 5, you get the best of the best.
And also,
The
Daniel
household
Miller
budget.
mentioned it. WWE is in issues with it. AEW,
Somebody snitched.
but the thing about it,
Somebody out here snitching.
the whole industry is
It's
going
just-
around.
It's not
And
even just industry-wise. It's just
The world.
the world we're living in right now.
because like
Even in sports.
everybody,
Yeah.
and that's what gets me a lot of times. You mentioned that. Everybody's like, oh, look at it, WWE, they're greedy. AEW's doing the same thing. NFL's doing it. The only company that legit almost got it perfect, in fact, only 2 companies almost got it perfect, was the NHL and the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 companies where there was no real cases.
Yeah.
So we look at the NFL has a bunch of issues. There's way too many moving parts in the NFL.
Yeah.
A ton. And, we spoke about that.
What is a
too.
team, like 30 people, 35 people, maybe
you
more?
got, first of all, you got the players. You have the coaches. And we're talking about offense, defense coaches. Talk about the head coach.
You forget.
You talking about
the practice squad.
You talking about secret teams. You're talking about so many elements
it's 50,
to fucking football.
It's a lot.
It's ridiculous. Right. Which is why when I'm a huge, anybody that knows me, I love football. It's second to wrestling for me. But anybody that knows, like I was saying, like NBA gave that blueprint. Period. The bubble worked, and for NFL, it would have been harder, but they could have, like I told you guys off camera, they could have did it per region. They could have had teams, fighting. Teams doing games, 2 times a week. Not even, nothing crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But it should have been like I agree with you. But it should have been in one central place that have multiple stadiums. Yeah. California.
That's what I said. I said California,
Yeah.
Vegas would have been dope.
Yo, even Vegas would have been dope. Like California would have been better because you have 3 different stadiums. And
then you could have bubbled it up in 3 different
three
stadiums.
different locations. And
what is it? It's LA. You have San Diego. Is San Diego still open?
Yeah.
San Diego.
And then Oakland, if it's still open. I don't know if they still have that stadium over there.
But
because you got Inglewood.
Yeah.
You got
LA Rams.
But they used to have San Diego.
Yeah, but even though 2 places in 2 places in California, and you got Vegas. But Vegas is right there.
But you could have the thing about to go back to wrestling and what you said, like it's hard. This is a really hard thing, but it's
a draw. It's a luck of the draw at that point.
There's so many factors that plays into this. People want to get back to their regular lives.
Yeah.
Our government ain't really helping with people out.
Yeah.
The government basically said, yo, get back to your life.
Yeah.
And figure it out.
Yeah.
And then, so people are talking about, WWE in Florida and everything like that. AEW is having people in their locker room as well. But the thing about AEW, a lot of people don't know about, their wrestlers signed an NDA. So they can't talk about what goes on in AEW.
Which is low-key smart.
Which is a very smart. So things won't get to the dirt sheets. So honestly speaking, the AEW probably has problems too, but we don't know about it. The biggest thing is WWE is a
publicly traded company.
Exactly.
So you have to
wrestling in general is really, really hard to do right now.
There's too many gray areas.
It's too many gray areas because you're on top of somebody.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not a
let my man sneeze on you.
Independent companies aren't multi-billion-dollar companies like the NBA.
No,
where they can do on-site testing,
or they can do testing more than once a day, or things like that. Because those are the kind of things that you kind of think about. Is like, well, how many tests do you have? Do you test them when they come in? Do you test when they leave?
It's too much layers. Like,
you know what I mean?
People want to complain about WWE, AEW. But yeah, majority of people are not getting tested on a weekly basis every single day. I'm not.
And honestly, that's not even like an industry thing. That's just like a state. That's a state by state thing. Like people will like look at even in the Midwest, because that show was in Indiana, like Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Minnesota, like Nebraska. You got all these middle America states. That's mad random. You got all these like Midwest states that they're fucking infection rate is wild, and a part of that is because of the lack of testing, or the lack of people wearing a mask. So there's just so many different factors and variables involved that it sometimes is hard to kind of keep up. So like these things, like a COVID case or 2 here and there, it's gonna happen. It's like we don't live in a world now where like, oh, did you get corona? Oh, okay. Like that's gonna be normal as fuck in like a good 6 more months. Like,
but
it's crazy.
It's like, man, I'm just gonna say this: 2020 definitely exposes our health system. It definitely exposes it, how bad it is. That's it.
All right, let's move right along.
That's it.
Let's see. We talked about that. Well, I guess we can get into this week in wrestling, because it's going to be a lot of different parts to it, because once again, this weekend we have Bound for Glory, Impact's like big. This is their kind of like, I guess SummerSlam-esque WrestleMania. No, it's kind of like WrestleMania. Even though there's
Yeah,
Slammiversary, they kind of try to push it that way. But Bound for Glory is, I personally feel like it's their WrestleMania a little bit, where they are inducting Ken Shamrock into the Impact Hall of Fame this weekend. So shout out to that. That will be a part of their pre-show, which will be on their Impact Plus. And if you have Access channel, which I do, then you can watch that an hour before the pay-per-view. It's their pre-show. They're going to actually show the Hall of Fame show as their pre-show. So that's really good.
You want to watch it?
Yeah. So I'm going to order Bound for Glory. So if y'all want to come. I didn't make that decision until yesterday. I was like, oh, shit, Bound for Glory. So Bound for Glory is this Saturday. And then once again, this Sunday is Hell in a Cell, where you got some interesting matches going on. And then once again, AEW is preparing for Full Gear, which is in about, give or take, 3 weeks. No, 1, 2, yeah, about 3 weeks from this week. So their end of the year pay-per-views coming up with Full Gear. So we got a lot of, different things going on. SmackDown and Raw had their season premiere episodes this week. And then what else was going on? And then Impact had their homegoing show for Bound for Glory. So let's talk about the biggest thing I think you wanted to bring up was this build-up between Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley, which is now going to be the main event at Full Gear for the AEW World Heavyweight title. And from what I was told, it is an I Quit match, which I highly disagree. But we're going to talk about it. So first things first, what are your thoughts on, because once again, Eddie Kingston's style, whether in-ring and on the mic, is very, very unique and very different and very fresh, I think. And once again, he's been in the game over 20 years. And this is this is his time to shine in a way. So, just your quick thoughts on Eddie Kingston, just the wrestler himself, and then what are your thoughts on this build-up going to Full Gear? And then we'll jump around about a few other topics too about that. So, who wants to go first?
First, Eddie, in my opinion, this is what the levels of promo skills I go. It is top skill is God level. Next thing is legendary, good, and you suck. Mm-hmm. So I think Eddie Kingston is on God level when it comes to promo.
Yeah,
I think he's really one of the God level mic skill guys in the business. I hate how he dresses. I think it's really, really bad. I hate his look in general, his body weight. He looks like somebody's uncle. I think it kind of works
Uncle
for him.
Eddie.
It kind of works for him because he's this gritty guy, but he doesn't really scare me. But what it is, this match for him is career making. This match for him coming up is legit a career making match. And I think this helps elevate Moxley. And I know people already think that he's a superstar, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he's a superstar. I think he's a star. He's a good guy. He's good. He has star power, but I don't think he's a superstar.
He's not for everybody. He's like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but I think he could become a superstar if this match is done the correct way.
Yeah.
I've said this before we started, and I'll say it again. Eddie can be what Mankind Mick Foley was to WWE during the Attitude Era.
And Ruthless Aggression Era.
But more the Attitude Era, and you can argue Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yeah, because that was the tail end.
Yeah.
And that was more of the Cactus Jack days.
Yeah.
Because that was him and Trips having the feud and stuff like that.
But my thing with that is AEW's pretty.
Yeah.
AEW's pretty because it's a live broadcasted big company.
Yeah.
Eddie is not pretty.
Yeah.
And you need that.
Yeah.
Coming in that company. Eddie is what AEW needs right now because he's for the smarks, but he's not for the smarks.
Yeah.
He's on a different level.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, his promo skills are so good that he elevates a match. He makes it a big fight feel. And that's something that was lacking with a couple of matches in AEW, a couple of feuds in AEW. But going into this match, I'm excited for it. I don't think it's going to be a good match on a physical level, on a wrestling level, but the promos have really got me invested. And the thing is, I said this to you guys, I don't want him to win. I want him to lose. And the reason why I want him to win, to lose, I mean, it's because it's a chase. You want him to fight from the bottom. There is to a point that he's that villain that you root for.
Yeah.
That's who Eddie is. Eddie is the Joker.
Yeah.
Eddie is the villain that you understand why he's like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's the same energy people give Brock.
yeah. And the thing is also with Black Panther. When we saw Black Panther and we saw Killmonger.
Yeah.
He was the villain, but we understood why he was the villain.
he made
and
sense.
Eddie has really engulfed that of being the villain that we understand. That's who Eddie is. And the thing about it, he needs to lose so we can hate him, but also love him at the same time.
Yeah.
Because he needs this. But the thing about it, he's gonna put the top guy over. And he's tired of putting the top. This is a beautiful thing that's set up. I just hope they don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
That is my opinion. I think Eddie is amazing when it comes to ring work. Not ring work, mic skills.
Yeah, and I agree with you as far as Eddie because I feel, he had that bout against Kenny last year at Full Gear, that really gritty, lights out match. It was good though, but I felt that you didn't believe Kenny as a hardcore guy. You understand? Because Kenny as a hardcore guy because he wrestles still pretty. You understand? But with Kingston, he's that uncle that's gonna fight dirty. He's that uncle that's gonna pull out all the stuff. You're gonna feel that he's gonna do everything in his power to win. And that's gonna really challenge Moxley because in AEW he hasn't been challenged in that way as far as that hardcore style. And Eddie's really gonna bring it out of him. And you need those star-making moments to say that, okay, I could refer back to that. It definitely got the best of him as far as the grittiness. Like just how Mankind did for Triple H, he did for The Rock, he did for Edge, he did for Randy Orton. List goes on. Even for
Undertaker.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Big Show, Kane, numerous guys that he able to get that grittiness out of him. Like, oh, this guy is gritty.
But it's a story
Exactly.
that we want to hear. And it also
Exactly.
goes back to like his promo where he's like, you left me to become an entertainer.
Yeah.
You left me to get the wife, the beautiful wife. Like, I need to do this. This reminds me, and once again, I'm not comparing. Stone Cold versus The Rock.
Yeah, when the Stone Cold said, I need this match.
I need this match.
Out of desperation.
And that was the JR and Stone Cold interview.
Yeah.
And with The Rock as well. Sorry. But fighting from the bottom, when that wrestler's fighting from the bottom in the ring, because we talked about it with Tessa and Brian, and also fighting from the bottom with the promos.
Yeah.
Because what made that promo so good, he put over John.
Yeah.
But he also put over himself and he put over the match.
But I think that's just a test to his mic skills.
Yeah,
and
and
that's
that's
what
what
you
you
said.
said.
Not everybody can do that. I agree with what you were saying in terms of I think Eddie Kingston is probably the only person to bring that hardcore edge grittiness out of Jon Moxley that no one hasn't been able to tap into yet.
Yeah.
That part I agree with. What I disagree is the whole him not winning, because remember when and I guess it's the greatest a good example would be with Bang and Batman.
Okay. I was like, you
Sorry.
said Bang. I was like,
Yeah.
isn't that an energy drink, my
No.
nigga?
Bang.
Bang. So remember when like Batman had got so fucked up, they threw him in the hole, blase. That's kind of how I see the Moxley Kingston thing, where Kingston now he's at the throne and now he's the ruler.
Hold on, I need to cut you off. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen something great about to happen. Janelle is about to use comic book references.
That she makes
She's
fun of us.
never used the comic book reference. Even though this is the movie, I'll give it to her, but it's a comic book reference. I had to cut you off because This is big.
Yeah.
This is big.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You see Moxley at the throne. I mean,
I see
Eddie at the throne.
So in the movie, when you, yo, I so hate you, but it's the truth. Because when we were talking about it, that's all I could think about. I was like, no, I'm thinking of fucking Batman. And when he was sitting there at the stadium talking about like, this is the rebellion, this is the opportunity that I'm gonna give everybody. Blase. That's Eddie Kingston. And then Moxley, unfortunately, is Batman, where now he has to build himself back up to now go get. Moxley needs to be the chaser in the situation for me.
Agree with that.
In order
I
for
like
me
that.
to be
Like, he
believable.
breaks him.
I'm feeling this.
Like he breaks Moxley.
Yeah, like he
Breaks him. And
Yo,
after that,
Tony Khan.
Moxley, I broke you. I broke you,
me.
Moxley.
But that's how I see it.
Yeah.
So
I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this.
So me hearing the whole now the element you're throwing the I quit thing. Kingston has to win. Like, I'm
And
sorry. There's
the
just
good
no.
thing
I
about-
don't think he has to win.
Kingston not winning, it just would be like, it literally would be all the promos he did, all the buildup he did, you're putting it in the toilet and you're flushing it. To me.
I think, in my opinion, Moxley dies. Not literally dies. He kills Moxley.
Yeah, that would be
Just like Batman.
Yeah, he breaks Moxley.
Okay.
Okay. I fuck with the Batman reference.
See that, but
I fuck with it.
And Katie's gonna
yo,
say
and
with
I
sad
said,
action,
yo,
I
and when you
broke
said it
Moxley.
earlier, yo, when
I
we were
broke
talking
you,
about
Moxley.
it, when we were talking about it off camera, that's all I could think about. I was like, yo, I'm gonna hit these niggas with the real one real quick
Yo,
because
that's
I knew
true.
because I was like, no, Kingston needs to be. He needs
What
to
happens
win.
when you come on time?
Shut up.
Pre-production meeting
Yeah.
goes good.
Yo, that is true though.
Pre-production.
Imagine Eddie's just saying that
up.
with the title. I broke you, Moxley.
But the thing about it, I don't think he. All right, so
And he got fucking Lucha Bros. He got all these little fucking random people behind him. It makes sense.
But the thing about it, I think, so it goes back to what your reference is. Let's rewind. They have the match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moxley never says, I quit.
Yeah.
And the ref has to stop the match. Because they've been doing this shit all of the AEW, ref stopping matches.
Yeah.
Throwing in towels and shit.
Okay. So he breaks Moxley, like you said, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He breaks Moxley. Moxley is basically knocked out. He can't talk, can't do nothing. So you have to stop the match. And that's a loophole in an I quit match. Make up some rules. We do it in wrestling all the time.
Yeah.
But I get tired of that because, like, listen, if you're gonna do, it goes back to even this weekend with Hell in a Cell with Jay and fucking Roman. If someone doesn't say I quit, there's no fucking. Why are we doing this?
Well, that's different.
Why are we doing
Jay
this?
said I quit.
Yeah.
That's family. That's family. Jay said I quit.
Yeah. That's
the
different-
thing is, hold on for a
Same
second.
story.
Hold on for a second.
Yo, because the ultimate loophole would be Roman saying, like, on the mic, like, I'm saying I quit for you, and then Mike dropping it, and then walking away with the title. That's some shit, WWE. That's some shit that could happen.
But the thing is, are we not noticing how there's this back-to-back
Very similar.
pay-per-views
Very similar.
doing the same
Same
thing,
shit.
which I'm fine with.
Wrestling's recycled.
The thing about it,
It's
that's
fine.
good storytelling because the only reason why we're invested in both these feuds because these four men are involved with each other.
Yeah, now it's at a personal level.
It's a personal
Like,
level.
even though
And
Roman and Jay is a different level of personal
It's
level.
still personal.
It's still, but
relatable.
Kingston and Moxie is personal.
like any good boxing feud is personal.
Just like Evander Holyfield versus Tyson.
Exactly, because wasn't Evander at Mike Tyson's fight watching him?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't Evander on, I think he was on the Olympic team the same time as Mike.
Yeah.
There is so many stories that's going into these two feuds right now.
Mm-hmm.
But to go back to Eddie and John, because I have some fire bars. John has to die.
Yeah. He has
Just
to die.
like Batman died.
He has to die.
John has to die.
He had to kill him.
He has to kill him, not literally, but
not literally.
But he
Don't
has
kill
to
him,
die.
Eddie, please and thank you.
And that's the only way, because I don't want this to end like this.
Yeah.
Oh, Eddie quit, I quit. Where does he go from there?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Why
No,
I think
you're right.
Kingston saying I quit. It literally because if you go back a few weeks ago when Lance Archer had COVID and they threw Eddie Kingston in that match, and I said then weeks ago,
Breaking news: Will Hobbs has joined the Jabba Tits podcast page.
Shut the fuck up.
He has joined.
What?
Young Willie Hobbs?
Shut up.
Yeah, but go back.
Are you
to it.
serious?
Hey, man.
Okay, we'll talk about him later. But it goes back to a few weeks ago when I said to you guys, I said, "Yo, Kingston fucking losing to Moxley at a random ass Dynamite for the fucking title was trash." And I was just like, "Are you kidding me? Like, how do you do that?"
No, I see.
But
You're right.
then they okey-doked me, and they made you low-key forget about that shit. And then they made Eddie seem like the stronger one out of the duo. So I said, oh, okay, so that's why I'm invested, because they were able to resurrect the wrong that they did on Dynamite when they gave him that random ass title match because Lance Archer had COVID.
Yeah.
So this is the redemption. But for me,
Lance
Kingston
Archer
has
didn't
to win.
have COVID. He was exposed to COVID.
Yeah.
Apparently, supposedly.
Are we gonna talk about the MJF and Jericho segment?
Let's go there real quick. I like musicals. I don't know what you're talking about.
You a low-key AEW hater, though.
I'm not though.
Let's
I
put-
just
let's-
don't.
let's put it
I
out
just
there.
don't agree. No, because you have people like Quintus Brown that will come in my inbox and be like, "You're a hater. You don't like this. You don't give everything a chance." And it's like, no, me not giving. If I didn't give it a chance, I wouldn't watch it.
Listen.
So
There's a lot of haters in job.
It's just
the network
like-
page.
No, the network. The thing about it, I enjoy it.
Yes.
Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's good conversation. As long as it's clean and you're not talking about somebody's mama. And you're not talking about
you're
somebody
not
being
coming at
stupid,
disrespectful. Then
but
cool.
it's cool because
like
I
how
like
people report my post in my group. Who does
Yo,
that?
who does that, man?
okay.
Lame.
Just saying.
No. Listen.
Just saying.
It was about being gay.
But it had nothing to. It's just say that she didn't. You see, you could tell all he read was gay, and that's it.
But listen. Some people are more sensitive.
It's not
True.
Janelle's fault for not. He didn't read the whole
But the thing,
sentence.
listen,
That's
listen,
your fault.
Listen. You're entitled to the way you feel. She's entitled to the way she feels.
And
I'm
that
entitled to
individual is
Yeah.
entitled to his
But
feelings.
she didn't say
But I
nothing
just thought it
offensive
was
towards the
lame.
But
gay
the thing
community.
about you didn't take it that way. She didn't take it that way. And 90% of people didn't take it that way. But he did.
And that's fine. But
And
anyway,
that's fine.
So the
But
But we'll go. we'll move
MJF
forward.
my
and
thing
Jericho.
is this. My thing is MJ versus Jericho. I enjoyed it, and everybody said that, oh, it's terrible. WWE would never do something like this. Let's watch AEW. Let me backtrack this. Some of my favorite moments from the Attitude Era was just as ridiculous. Probably worse.
First
How
of
the
all,
hell-
DX imitating Nation.
Yo, thank you. How the hell
Period.
that you gave birth to a hand? It was entertaining as hell. People complain about, oh, AEW talk about it's gonna be all wrestling, da-da-da. The whole show was full of wrestling. It was 6 minutes of that, and it was like kind of like a pee break. A moment just to break the whole wrestling for the night, little bit of comedy, and people said, that's the worst thing Jericho ever did. That's the worst thing MJF ever did. Jericho had the festival of friendship. Jericho does ridiculous stuff all the time. That's part of his character, how he is as a person. MJF,
I'm just glad Maxwell was able to do it. Like,
thank you. It
and
expands him
executed.
as his character.
I was proud of him on
It
that one.
adds another layer. Like, yo, this man can sing. He's talented like that. Okay, has eyes on him. Next thing you know, you see him on, Max Singer, MJF. Another exposure to the company. People don't understand when it comes to wrestling. Yo, it's bigger than just all matches all the time. People say, New Japan would never do this. Yes, they does. Oh, Ring of Honor would never do this. Yes, they do. At the end of the day, certain segment makes sense. Team Hell No. That wasn't all wrestling. That was just pure storytelling. Hugging in the ring and all of that. That was entertainment as hell. They was in a restaurant screaming. That was actually real people in a restaurant. Shout out to Kane's book. Excellent read, by the way. Speaking of death, shout out to Deborah Oxford with the Death Row hoodie. Shout out to you. But
I'm so glad I was like, where's he going with that?
yeah.
Whoa.
So, nevertheless, though, people have to understand, though, wrestling is entertainment.
But okay, so I wanna push back on that real quick, because you're right. You're right. Everything you said is 100% right. But I like AEW. I just like wrestling. But anyways, but I'm gonna push back on that. AEW in the beginning presented it as a more sports centric type of company.
Okay.
Where it wasn't sports entertainment, because wrestling fans have been shooting up WWE for years for being on the entertainment side of things.
I get that.
So that's why a lot of people, I don't agree with the people, but I see their point. Where their point is that, listen, y'all doing this, but if WWE does this, y'all gonna tear into it. We can go back to Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders, right? What pay-per-view was that?
I don't remember.
When they were fighting ninjas and doing
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was fun.
I just like the ending of it.
But Quintus Brown,
Yeah.
my man,
Mm-hmm.
I have so much love for Quintus Brown. Shout out to you for supporting us
From
for
day
so
one.
many years.
Appreciate you.
But I'm gonna get into that ass right now. Pause. He was one of the first people on the Job Tips Network page on Facebook. Join, please.
Join, please.
We have a lot of wrestlers in there. But anyways, you tore into that segment because it was comedy. A lot of people tore into the Viking Raiders in their carpool karaoke thing they were doing. They tore into it. Now, when MJF and Chris Jericho do it, it's the most amazing thing in the world.
So like what I'm gathering for your
Or
POV.
even going back to that fucking whole stadium shit.
Oh,
when
that
it
was fire.
Inner Circle
He hated
versus,
it. He hated it.
When it was Inner
No,
Circle
he liked it.
versus whatchamacallit?
The Inner Circle and Matt Hardy.
Inner Circle versus
Omega, Hangman.
The Elite with Matt Hardy.
Yes,
Yes.
Matt Hardy.
I see your point. You're saying this way. You don't have an issue with, you don't care, but it's just like people are hip. That's the Aki berry, right? It hits you, right?
Well, the thing is, I drank a C4.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking, it's like 600 grams
Yeah.
of like, I'm fucked up right now.
Yeah. But nevertheless, though, I understand where you're coming from. Both of y'all saying that stop being hypocrite. Don't praise one company for doing something and you trash another company for doing something else.
People are biased.
But
Yo,
listen, but
OD bias.
But the thing is, listen, everyone has a right to have their opinion. And no one's saying don't have it, don't do it. But keep that same energy. Like if it's very similar, and guess what? Wrestling is recycled, so most things 9 times out of 10 are the same, or some shit that happened 20 years
Thank
ago.
you.
So fucking keep the same energy. And once again, keep an open mind, because you can't sit there 1 minute you got AEW fans that's like, oh, have the open mind, but then you don't have the open mind for if WWE does something different, and
I'm
you're
sorry.
like, what?
Like, a lot of fans are just very like narrow-minded. They really like they don't say the bigger
Niggas
picture.
is fickle. That's
Yeah,
why
they're
when
mad
Daniel
fickle.
Bryan said that shit, I was like,
Yeah,
wow,
no. I never understood
Very
like
true.
how these wrestlers feel. That like I hate fans. I understand how Seth feel. All these fans feel because honestly, you can't blame Seth for defending his company. You understand? Backtrack to being fans being fickle. All going to correlate to everything is at the end of the day, these are their jobs. These are their livelihood. You want someone like Seth or someone else on the top to trash their company that basically made all their wildest dreams come true, made him a megastar he is right now. Like, Seth Rollins is known around the world. If you go to Africa, people are imitating Seth Rollins and stuff like that. So I can't get mad for a guy like Seth Rollins, other dudes defending their company. But us fans have to understand that, yo, at the end of the day, they're just doing their job.
Yeah.
Simple. Like, for example, all these indie dudes who trash AEW is trash. I don't watch this, but guarantee if AEW come with you to a contract, 9 out of 10 times you're gonna sign that contract. Say,
maybe not, depending on the contract, depending on the person.
no, I said 9 out of 10 times they're gonna sign it. That's why I said
I would go
person.
lower than that.
But-
you never know.
Even for WWE, they will still take that contract, regardless how people may go in. Oh, I hate this, that, third, but they offer you a contract, the life-changing money. You're gonna take that contract. Simple.
Listen.
So, but before you continue, like, I don't like when people want to try. One thing I don't like about indie wrestlers, fans in general, is like, y'all so clamored to go back to the old days, da-da-da. Y'all sound like dudes who hate new hip-hop. Everything changed. Everything evolved. You're not going to get the whole Jim Cornette days. You're not going to get that.
Oh, good old
Yo,
Jimmy.
you're not, because a lot of stuff that you liked, now it's hella offensive right now. I just want people to be more open-minded, saying that, yo, just because it's not how it used to be, it'll never go back to how it used to be. If that's the case, you have a whole network, numerous network. You know, you have the Indie Network, you have Impact Network, WD Network. Watch those old school wrestlers. Like the same people who say they want the old Kanye West,
that
you're
WWE
not going to get
Network.
the old Kanye West. Ready to
You know I
Wrestling.
have that shirt.
What?
I miss the old Kanye.
Well,
have that
I
shirt.
do, but I have to understand that people evolve. Company
Absolutely.
evolve. So
And
all
things
this,
change.
Yeah, things change. Like, you cannot get a Ric Flair where he could travel to each territory, defend the title. You're not going to get that back. You're not going to get the same storytelling that you got in the Jim Cornette days. Wrestling evolved. Instead of you trashing it, say, you know what? How can I incorporate the new into the old and make it more balanced product? Shout out to Billy Gunn. He said it. Guys that Billy Gunn who understand the old product, he helps these new guys to tell a story within the ring. Stop trashing these wrestlers and these companies try to do something new. Say, you know what? It's not for me though, but I can see the vision.
Okay. Let's move on real quick. So once again, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, I just want y'all thoughts on Retribution. Because if those that did not watch Raw this week,
I'm gonna say this.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna say this. It give me shades of when CM Punk joined the Nexus, and hopefully Mustafa Ali get that CM Punk push where you kind of go in a group that's kind of dying, but because that elevates you to the next level. So hopefully Mustafa Ali is able to excel from this. Because of this opportunity, he got more mic skills, get more ring time, and he's able to be around guys where he could actually develop them too at the same exact time. Because all those guys came from the new Nexus and them being successful, somewhat successful. Look at Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was Husky Harris during that time and evolved to the Fiend.
Husky.
So at the end of the day, right now it may suck for those wrestlers, but I'm on to the next, what's going to happen next. Hopefully, Mustafa Ali get that CM Punk push where you're in a bad group, but you take advantage of being in that situation. Like I said earlier, where he had more mic time to develop his character. And his mic skills, the promo he cut it.
See, but my issue
Fire.
with the promo was it came after y'all got your ass beat. So how the fuck am I
That's not
supposed
his
to take
fault.
you serious?
That's not his fault.
That is.
Yo.
What?
He was supposed to still say that last week. It's not his fault that the company cut his segment off. That's not his fault.
But then why? There shouldn't have been no segment, period.
Again, if your boss is telling you to do something,
No, I get that.
you make the
I'm
best
just
of
saying,
opportunity.
as the fan and as the person watching, that promo is what made me. It turned me all the way. It actually turned me off because it was just like y'all just got your ass beat by Bray Wyatt.
Don't blame him.
Y'all got your ass beat by one person.
Don't blame him.
And then commercial. It literally was they got their ass beat. Commercial break. They came back in the background.
It's not his fault.
And was like
he's doing a job.
And then was like, so I was the hacker.
Yeah, of course.
And I was just like,
again,
my
don't
God,
blame
I
the
figured that out
performer.
2 weeks ago.
Don't blame the performer. Blame the puppet master.
No, I'm good. Actually, it's not a blame, but it's an acknowledgement on both ends. Like that, you can't. I just don't. I'm never gonna be the one to just point the finger at one. It's both parties.
It's the puppet master.
It's both parties.
If the puppet master is telling you to say this, you're gonna go against it.
But it's not even saying that. Listen. Regardless of the fact, to me, the segment was unnecessary, and I didn't. And it didn't help me as the fan believe in retribution, because if you were supposed to be this badass group for weeks, fucking terrorizing shit, did you get terrorized by Bray Wyatt? It was like, wait, what?
Not his fault. Not their fault.
This is me being biased, so I'm about to defend the hell off this shit. All right. Okay.
But then again, wait. Think about it right now. It kind of was a good move because it was a season premiere. You kind of have to erase. It's kind of tying up. It was a season premiere. It was tying up what happened in the last season, and they doing this, they could develop to something else because they finished their beef with the Hurt Business. You don't know what kind of elevation.
They finished it because and Hurt Business beat them.
Whoa. Let me finish. But regardless of what it is, though, you got to end the season off. How it did it on the TV was cool, but now you're in a different feud with Bray Wyatt. I know Bray Wyatt's going to somehow have something in store for that group.
Bray not even worried. Yo, that's the funny part. I think Bray not even worried about them niggas.
But the thing is,
how you know that?
Listen, I don't
Like,
think
like-
I don't think that's what it is though. So this is me being I just love Ali. So for many reasons. Listen. So the promo he cut is because this is how I'm taking it as like a fan and watching it. I think he was trying to cut a promo like, yo, where we weren't organized as a team. That's why we lost. So now we're back to we're back together. And I'm going to step it up because I got secrets for all of you guys. That's the way I personally took it. And I see where everybody else was coming from.
Of course.
But they didn't get killed necessarily yet. Because I don't count Bray as being killed because he's
It's like Big Show beat up everybody.
Nah, it's not
No.
even that. It's not even that. It's like he's such a mystic force within the WWE that
It's the Undertaker, yeah.
yeah. So them losing to him was to kind of put over your top guy. Let's put him in position because that segment between him and Alexa Bliss was beautiful.
Oh my God, that shit
You're right.
is gold.
It was beautifully
so
done.
good.
It was. You're right.
So I can see what people are saying, but they're not dead yet. Are they about to be on the lifeline? Like, about to close? Yes, but I think Ali kind of saved them with the promo explaining the situation, what's coming next.
But some people say, "Oh, Sir Wilkins, though." But why didn't you just say that on the mic?
No, because you have to, and this goes back to comic books. This goes back to comic books again. I guess it's the comic book section of today's episode, where the bad guy has to lose the battle and come back for the war.
It does make sense.
Because if you think about it, they've been destroying everybody for how long?
Yeah.
So this is one battle that they lost. Okay, we lost a battle. All right, team. We need to come back. I was the guy on that computer. I have all y'all secrets. Okay, this is what we're doing. Now it's time for me to step it up.
It does make sense though, because when you watch Power Rangers sometimes, right? When you watch an episode, you see the beginning episode, they whoop the bad guys behind, just like that.
Yeah.
But then later on in the episode, the bad guy comes back even more powerful with different equipment, and he's whooping them behind.
Okay, that I can. You know what? That I can get with.
Because shout out to my
That's
Power Ranger
what.
head.
If that's the direction he would go, and where he'll come back on some like haha shit. All right, then I can excuse the Bray Wyatt.
Because
Molly
it does make
Whopping
sense,
all of
because
you niggas.
reference to the Batman movie, the Dark Knight, the second one, Joker did get into the police custody, and he did get caught. But you thought people felt that was the end of the movie. But what happened? Joker prevailed and ended up still surviving at the end. It could just be a lost battle in a greater war. Okay.
I can agree with that. So, we're coming towards the end of the episode. But before we do, I actually do want to bring up, we talked about Eddie Kingston and the mic skills, and something I said in our our lovely little wrestling group chat that we have amongst other wrestling fans and podcasts and things like that was all black, by the way.
Yeah, mad black.
All black, mad black.
Yeah.
Straight spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't with you.
You saw what I did?
I did. That's why I'm like, I cannot deal with you. I brought up, for me this week, the highlight for me in terms of promos, in terms of build up, was EC3's promo on Impact this week.
Come on, son. Come on.
Now, I will admit, EC3 back in the day, I wasn't too
Always
keen
been an
on.
EC3 fan.
And then,
I'm a body guy. Pause.
Heavy pause. And then even when he came on the NXT, I do feel like they didn't use him properly. I will give that. I will put that on the table. Absolutely. But to go back to Impact, where he kind of like got his foundation, where he got his start, the promo this man did for this match against him and Moose at an undisclosed location. When I tell you, I became an EC3 fan off of that promo alone. My man did a promo with a black eye. Who the fuck does that? And just the intensity and just what he was talking about. And he even low-key, not shaded, but he just threw in like how his past had held him back on him being a greater, like doing something for the greater good, or like him being able to prosper in the way that he felt like he should have. And it wasn't like a shot to WWE or anything, but it was just like, this is, it all I think revolves around that TNA title, which is funny. So it actually comes a little full circle. But that promo for me was, if you have not, go on YouTube, make sure to watch EC3's promo leading up to Bound for Glory. So in speaking of Bound for Glory, we once again got 2 pay-per-views going on this weekend. We're going to end the show off with some predictions and just talking about those things. So I'm going to start off with Bound for Glory. I'm going to pull up the card, which is a really solid card. So once again, if you they're gonna show it on pay-per-view, which should be about $40. Trust me, it probably is gonna be worth it. It'll definitely be worth the $40 versus the fucking $80 I spent on fucking Double or Nothing. I'll tell you that much. I gotta say this though,
like Impact, every time that we have, like I like to call the Jabba Tears, the official HR house. That's a Jabba Tears house right there. The Jabba Tears house right there. And every time we have the Impact pay-per-views, it's been a solid.
Yes.
It met expectation. Honestly. It was better. Honestly, it's not the TNA of old. It's definitely a new company, Please check out the good folks over there. Shout out to my boy Rich Swan. Shout out to Tasha Steeles. Those are the two people who always hold it down. You know, Tasha Steeles also was a guest, one of my greatest interviews I ever did. Check the interview out. But overall, please check out Impact, man.
So once again,
they're doing the Lord's work over there.
Impact's Bound for Glory will be 8 o'clock this Saturday, October the 24th.
Run down the card,
on pay-per-view.
Run down the card.
So, I thought you said something else. So I was looking at you like, what? No. But then I realized what you said. I don't know what that is. So we have, once again, the new inductee into the Impact TNA's Hall of Fame, Ken Shamrock, the most dangerous man.
The legend of the Lions Den match.
Facts. I give you that.
He's the original.
He's going to be inducted into their Hall of Fame, but he also will be on the card as well. So he's actually, which I don't give a damn about. But you got Ken Shamrock versus Eddie Edwards with Sami Callihan. It's so funny how Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock have now become like buddies. It's weird, but it's to me, I kind of enjoy it because I feel like it's the best of both worlds on the low. So who do you guys have? Ken Shamrock, who's going to probably flip and do a 450 splash.
Probably.
Or Eddie Edwards from bum ass Boston, Massachusetts. Ugh.
I really think it's gonna be Ken.
Yeah, Ken Shamrock should win.
Because of his Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Ken Shamrock should win. Next.
We have for the Impact X Division Championship. So if those that have been watching Impact, they've been literally going back and forth with all this
Grace
shit.
in that match.
Yeah. So you have Rohit Raju, who's champion, versus Chris Bay, versus Miss Jordan Grace, versus Trey, versus JTP, versus Willie Mack. And once again, it's for the X Division championship.
I gotta go with Jordan Grace, B.
So I feel like this could be their redemption of how they handled Tessa.
Yeah. So I gotta say Jordan Grace. Who you got?
Sir Wilkins, good morning.
I just hate T-Mobile.
I love T-Mobile.
Can't even send because they switched over from Sprint to T-Mobile, and I can't even.
Did
send
you
text.
have Sprint?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
When's the last time you turn off your phone?
I turned off my phone this morning, and it's shit is trash.
I mean,
it's a
I
Sprint.
don't know why you have T-Mobile.
I have T-Mobile.
Like you can go to the Sprint side because
Sprint.
No,
Sprint.
no,
I mean, Sprint bought T-Mobile.
No,
I know,
T-Mobile
I know.
bought Sprint.
Yeah, T-Mobile bought Sprint, and then when I went in, I'm sorry guys for talking about this, but when I went in to like check to see where I can get an upgrade, they were like, "Oh, we just checked your phone, so if you don't switch over to your T-Mobile, your SIM card to T-Mobile, your phone's not gonna work."
They lying.
Hustlers. But anyways.
Yeah, because
so Jordan
my phone
Grace
works perfectly fine.
My phone works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Jordan
Why
Grace.
why
I
you
say Jordan
lying?
Grace wins this. Apologies for not paying attention, but I really feel they have to.
Yeah.
I don't like Jordan Grace as the X Division champion. I'm just putting it out there. I do not like it at all. Whatever you want to call me, you can call me it. But I don't like her as the X Division. She doesn't fit.
My thing is that I just don't feel like this new era of Impact, they haven't truly defined what their vision of an X Division is.
And that's the one that's staples.
So, right. So, like, to me, back in the day, the X Division really was like, it was their cruiserweight, to me.
It was the guys who could do the moves.
Right. It was the high flyers. It was the AJs. It was
the Samoa
the Samoa Joe who can fly
Chris
and
Angel.
can move. It was Christopher
I
Daniels.
said Chris Angel. Yeah, same thing.
It was the Suicide. Like, it was those
Yeah.
guys that could move a certain way and it had that different style of wrestling. So I feel like Impact's lack of actually defining the title and that division itself is what kind of makes it so lackluster. But I mean, we'll see who happens. I mean, I don't have a bias. I really don't.
So what's next?
It is what it is. I mean, if Jordan Grace wins, that's cool. I mean, honestly speaking, light skin Trey should probably win because that nigga don't win shit at all.
He
like
light-skinned.
at all. Like, I feel so terrible for him half the time. I'm like, yo, he keeps getting title shot after title shot, shot after shot, and it's like he don't get to win shit. So actually, I vote for Trey. You got the Impact World Tag Team Championship in a 4-way. Where you have Motor City Machine Guns, who are the champions, versus the Good Brothers, versus Madman Fulton and Ace Austin versus the North.
Dang.
The North. I'm a huge.
I'm
a huge fan of them.
I don't mind who wins that one.
But I think the North wins.
I gotta go with Motor City Machine Gun just for like nostalgic pop. Like I know, like that's my personal pick, but I think the Good Brothers might win.
Okay. Yeah, my vote would go with the Good Brothers. I think they've been low-key building them. And even shout outs to them for having that little like side show that they have on Impact. I'm like, what is this?
It's good.
But it's like an extended version of what they used to do actually on the network with WWE. So, and they're really just funny characters, I think.
Hilarious.
Next we have the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, which is basically their version of
The Wheel?
no, it's their version of Money in the Bank. But it's where the twist is that whoever wins can challenge for any title that they want at any time. So you have, and it's I think a 20-person like gauntlet. Yeah, it's wild. But there are some ramifications to this. So if you have been watching Impact, Heath Slater's been trying to get a fucking contract on Impact. Love it. So one of the stipulations is that if Rhino or Heath doesn't win, they're both out of Impact.
Dang.
But if one of them win, then Heath gets the contract. So, which I think is hilarious. But you have AC Romero, you have Alicia. But so I find it funny because they're mixing men and women in this too, which I think is kind of cool. You got Hernandez, you got Brian Myers, you got Havoc, you got Alicia Edwards, who doesn't really wrestle. You got Tommy Dreamer, and the list goes on and on. But I think it's about 20 people in the gauntlet match.
So Tasha Steele's in there.
It could be. They just haven't. Those are just a few of the names that they announced. But honestly speaking, Rhino or Heath has to win. Like at this point, like Heath's been trying to get this contract for like 3 months. Come on, you gotta let the man win.
I love what they're doing. Because you mentioned they having the women in there.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. It's done correctly. I need Katie Forbes back, by the way. I just want Katie back. But anyways, I know we gotta go soon.
Yeah,
but I think Heath wins.
Okay.
That's not some Spence?
Wait, is that Spence? No.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Who's behind you, Miles? I'm sorry. Who's behind you?
We do this.
Mike.
Who's behind you, Miles?
It's Mike.
Oh, Mike. Oh, hi, Mike. Sorry. We thought you were somebody else. My bad. Okay, real quick. We have for the Impact Knockouts Championship, we have Deonna Purrazzo versus Kylie Ray.
Deonna, come on.
Okay.
She signed a contract.
Correct. And then you have Moose versus EC3.
Ooh.
I think EC3 wins.
That's the one, yeah.
It's gonna be so good.
So good.
But I just think that will be one of those matches where Moose will get elevated.
Yes, really, they've low key because Moose ain't all that on the mic. Not sorry, but I just feel like the level of like they've been going at each other is the right.
Yeah.
So, last but not least, you have Eric Young, who is the current reigning defending Impact World champion, versus Rich Swann.
The 420 god, Rich Swann.
Rich Swann needs this W, okay?
Yeah.
So once again, you can watch Impact's Bound for Glory on, I believe, Fight app. But then on Access and on Impact Plus, you can watch the Hall of Fame ceremony an hour before Bound for Glory. So we're going to move real quick to Hell in a Cell, which is this Sunday. Once again, we'll be at Legends. It is a costume party, so if you do want to come in your costume, come on through. Or if you don't, then you don't need to. You can just still come on through. Let me just pull up the card here that's current. So we have Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Elias returning. Fire album. Make sure it drops this coming Monday.
They're trying to give him like
fire.
From looks of it, Elias winning because they're trying to give him that mega push.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a superstar.
But question, you're right. Like, go back to what you said earlier. People made a big deal about Elias' performance. The same people who hate on WWE, but yet praise that whole musical.
Who didn't like Elias' performance?
You'd be surprised.
Wow, really?
The same people who didn't like it, but loved the whole AEW segment.
I was tight that I had missed Elias had did like a live 1 hour segment. WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans, and I had missed about a day.
Elias is talented.
I flew in the next day. We have for the WWE Championship, we have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton.
No, Drew is winning, man.
Why?
Randall.
Why?
Drew
dry ass.
No, he ain't dry.
He dry as fuck.
No.
You dry.
I'm not. Pause.
He is the pandemic champion.
You gonna get me in trouble.
Like, He is definitely the pandemic
Mad
champion.
wild.
That was hella wild. I was like, oh,
That's why I'm slowly ignoring that.
Yeah, this is season 1 of Jabba Tears.
Shout outs to Mike.
who's performing tonight?
Oh, he's,
Well,
is he
it's
gonna wear
real
a
time.
suit? Is he gonna wear a suit?
No, he said he's wearing a jacket and some
Where's he
jeans
performing at?
in Jersey. So remember the guy? Remember Ray
No.
that came
Ray
and
Pearson?
did that did the episode with us? He's doing an EP listening party in Jersey.
Where in Jersey?
I don't know where in Jersey, but they're on their way now to Jersey.
So it
but
gotta be
Mike,
far they better go this early.
but Mike is performing there. Like he's one of the 2 opening acts.
Mike's gonna ghostwrite my album.
Oh God!
Shout out to Ray Peterson.
I asked him that the other day. I was like, "Are you really gonna write Wilkins a song?"
So are you gonna
He
go
was
back
like,
to your gimmick
It's gonna
Rico
be called.
Haiti?
It's gonna be called Pains and Thrillers.
by
okay.
Rico Haiti?
No.
No.
So you're not gonna bring it back to bring back Rico Haiti?
No.
So Rico,
So before we go, I low key wanna drop an album and then follow all. So I've been watching a lot of How to Become a Rap Star.
Oh
I
God!
watched
on
that
YouTube?
Too. I watched that too.
So I'm gonna follow all of the blueprint to that, and I want to get 10,000 streams on Spotify to call it a day. That's all I want.
Then tap out. And
Then
be
tap
like,
out.
I'm
I just
good.
want 10,000 streams, but I need like Fire Hook. I need.
He's a good writer.
No, I
though.
need
He can
2
write good
songs.
songs.
I'm gonna pull the Eminem version. I'm gonna put the pop song out first, then put the sad song out after. And I need somebody to sing the hook, a female to sing my hook.
Wow.
Oh, that's
okay.
mad females.
All right, but okay. You say Drew. I say
Yeah, I
Randall.
said Randall.
Okay. We have for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Hell in a Cell.
Oh, Sasha.
Bailey versus Sasha Banks. This is, I believe, Bailey's first time in the cell. But Sasha Banks has to
Yeah,
win. The
yeah.
fuck?
Like I think they're gonna kill each other.
Yeah, I honestly think it's gonna be the match of the night.
That's
And it's gonna probably give me Takeover Brooklyn vibes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But last but not least, for right now, we have for the Universal Championship, we have
You didn't even ask
Roman
me.
Reigns. What? Oh, you better pay attention.
You didn't ask me.
I asked the table.
yeah, you did.
Yeah, but you asked him.
I looked at him, but I asked the table. I'm
Come on,
sorry.
son.
He
Come
was
on.
talking.
Come on, son.
Sasha Banks versus Bailey.
Sasha Banks in the Hell in a Cell. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Last but
I
not
love
least.
you, Sasha.
No.
You and Naya.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are solid picks.
No, I really love Sasha, but go ahead.
All right, so we have for the Universal title, Jey Uso versus Roman
Why are
Reigns.
we asking this question?
Trying
What?
to be funny.
But no, but
Why are we asking this question?
I asked this question because why are we even doing this match when the shit like that? Like when we be like,
Oh,
oh, I
because it's a
already
good
know.
storyline,
Exactly.
my nigga.
Fine.
Exactly. Y'all complain that WWE don't tell a story.
No,
give
I'm
it,
not
and
complaining.
y'all
I'm just
complain.
saying, but I don't.
I need Rakishi to come out.
Facts.
Yeah.
I need Rikishi to come out.
I need either I need someone to fall off the cell, or I need Rikishi to come out.
So you think this should
Somebody
open
gotta
it?
fall. Somebody gotta fall off the cell. No, Roman and Jay should close.
But then again, I want
Sasha
them to
and
close.
Bailey should open.
Okay.
I agree.
This is not gonna happen. Never gonna happen because it's a female match. But I really need Bailey to do her elbow drop off the cell, son.
Ooh.
I need her to do. What is it called? Does she have a name for it?
No, but it's the same elbow that Macho did.
I know it's the same elbow that Macho did, and I think she's a huge Macho fan, is she?
Yeah.
Not like me though.
But
yeah, close.
I need her to do the elbow drop off the cell. I'm telling you that right now. If that is done, the women's division in WWE is to the moon. It already is in space.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not, it's not in the moon though.
It's in the orbs.
Yeah, but I need her to do that.
But yeah,
I agree.
I think, but once again, this is a jam-packed wrestling weekend. So next episode, we will definitely give you guys some feedback, reactions, things like that. Once again, those are in the New York City area.
The
Come out to
tri-state
Legends,
area.
Tri-State area. Come out to Legends. It's our viewing party for Hell in a Cell. It is a costume event. If you feel like wearing a costume, please do come.
You don't.
If you don't, but you can still come. And then once again, this Tuesday is the start of the JTP Lounge. It is a limited series presented to you by the Jabba Tears podcast, where our first guest will be Miss Renee Michelle. So make sure to tune in Tuesday night at 9 p.m. On what are we doing? Facebook Live.
Facebook Live, Twitch, YouTube.
Twitch and YouTube. So make sure to tune in. And once again, it's a limited series. So we're going for the next 6 weeks. on Tuesday night. So we taking over Tuesday. So you get us twice a week, guys. So we're excited. Anything else before I do sign off or anything? Once again, thank you to anyone that has ever supported the Jabba Tears podcast. It is always a humbling moment for us. And I think when we did the interview with Andrew, with Drew, we realized like when he was just like, yo, I listened to the first few episodes when you guys first started, and I listened to the last episode, and just the amount of growth that has happened. It for us, we were like, holy shit, like sometimes we ourselves have to take a seat and smell the roses. So we do want to thank everybody that has supported us,
our supporters,
this far,
our haters. We love all y'all equally.
We love everyone.
Yeah, we love all of y'all.
Once again, come out to Legends this weekend. We will see you there.
New episode of Mrblacc Show dropping this Friday.
Okay. I see you. And along with Mrblacc Show, that's the new episodes dropping this week. Make sure to support all the other episodes that we do, shows that we do have under our network. So we have the new 2.5 Bros. We have Your Sports. We have Talk of Champions under our brand, and we have a few other things coming up in the works.
I know.
So stay tuned for that.
Work in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just call you Chef Ramsay. Oh.
Chef cooking in the bank. Hey. Anyway, as always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mr. Black. #Black Excellence. #We are out.